All right, so obviously it's March. March Madness has started. Anything you guys have like that surprised you or anything so far?
Surprises. Well, of course, there's going to be some surprises. We just had Baylor lose to UNC today, which is probably it's a big surprise, but it's at the same time everyone disrespected the ACC. So
Honestly, I expected that. I picked UNC to go to the Elite Eight in my bracket, but the biggest surprise was St. Peter's. I
St.
mean,
Peter's is the biggest surprise so far this year, right?
right now, I mean, Michigan's hanging in with Tennessee, so you never know.
Right, yeah.
But obviously, two teams in the Sweet 16, Kansas and UNC,
Mhm.
and a lot more to come.
Hopefully,
They
we have a
turned
couple more ACC teams going in there.
Hopefully,
the A10. Y'all sleeping on it too much. Teams like Richmond, St. Louis almost actually.
I mean, Richmond getting beat right now by Providence.
They'll come back. Uh, I was watching a game yesterday or last night where he went to Illinois.
Hmm.
They barely snuck out of that one.
Yeah, that was bad.
They were down by 4 points with a minute left, right? And then they came back. So
Yeah. The fact that Baylor came back and made that a game against UNC was crazy.
Yep.
I wouldn't want to say it was just them. They had a lot of help from the reps, though. I believe
I think it was just the press, dude. UNC could not handle that.
they were extremely physical with that press, like extremely physical. Like if that ball's thrown in, that UNC player is getting pushed out of the way. It happened a couple times.
Yeah, but I mean, that's reffing. If you're gonna let them play, you let them play.
Right, but then the UNC player barely touches him, right? And that's a foul. Like
I mean, it didn't really matter. They got the win.
they got the win, right? Because, can't play dirty. So
But there's a lot of NFL news as well. A lot of free agents.
yeah, but real quick, I want to stick with the NCAA tournament. What did you guys watch? One of our only New York teams in there, Colgate last night. What'd you think of that game?
I did watch that. I was surprised they stuck around with Wisconsin. To be honest, I thought they were gonna get blown out. They're
Colgate,
Go ahead.
Colgate's one of those teams. They're gonna try to kill you with showing.
Yeah.
I think. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Okay. Colgate's one of those teams. Now they're gonna try to kill you with showing. I think they're in their conference. They're the best team right now, I would say. So they're gonna be in the tourney for at least 1 to 2 more years. I think, but I don't see them making any real runs.
No, I mean, once Wisconsin got them off the 3-point line, the game was over.
Yep.
So, but I mean, the fact that they stuck with Wisconsin, that's kind of impressive.
Thanks.
They're a better team than I thought they were.
Thanks.
I personally think that they're so close. I feel like they need one more piece, either a better big man, right? Or like a better like other shot creator. Because they got Cummings, who's their only shot creator, correct? And then you have Richmond, I believe that's his name, Richmond or Richardson,
Something like
something
that,
like
yeah.
that, right? Who was crazy in the second half where he shot 4 straight threes and made them. So once he did that, they clamped him up, they wouldn't let him out of their sights. And then, Cummings is their only other offensive threat. So they were really just so close to being able to come out with that win.
Yeah, but the thing is, no one wants to go to Colgate if you're a top player. So that's why they don't get like recruits like that.
Well, you don't need a top player. You just need a solid player. You got Cummings, who's an amazing player in my book. For him to do that, he's just like what I'm forgetting his name. But Clarence. You know Clarence from semi-pro? The guy that went to the Spurs afterwards?
I've
Like their
heard of
best
that
player?
name. I've heard of the name, yeah.
Andre 3000?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's pretty much that character, right? Where he's the best player on that team. He shouldn't be at that low-tier school, right? And I feel like if you can get one of those types of players, either a big man or like a forward, then you're good. Because I feel like Cummings is coming back, and then Richmond or Richardson or something like that, he should be coming back as well. So you like Nick said, you got one more year to go out.
Yeah, I mean, they were close to winning, so it's not far-fetched to say that they could make a run.
I would have liked SU in there. I think they would have gotten to the Sweet 16, but
For sure.
they did not deserve to make the tournament.
Unfortunately.
Another college disappointed me that I would have liked to see in the March Madness tournament, St. Bonaventure. They were very disappointing this year for their hype, and they couldn't even beat St. Louis in the A-10.
Yeah, they lost by 1. That was tough.
My boy Kyle Lofton missed 2 free throws at the end.
Yeah, I saw that. I watched the ending. He missed 2. I was like, oh.
Yep. Shun played horrible too, though. He was just turning the ball over left and right.
Yeah. Hey. It's crazy.
Facts. NIT, though.
Yeah. Yeah, facts.
But if we want to really say a team that didn't really deserve to be in there, although they are winning, and I think you guys know which team I'm talking about, is Michigan. Only 17 wins in the regular season.
No,
I know they're winning now, but it's the same thing with Syracuse. Just give them a chance, put them in, although they weren't 500, which is awful, right? And no team should be in there if they're under 500. But only 17 wins. I'm sure like a Texas A&M should have taken their spot.
Yeah, Texas A&M, I'm surprised they missed it. And honestly, I thought Michigan should have been a play-in team. Not like they should not have been an 11 seed.
Although it is proving right for the Confederation that, they are playing well right now.
Yeah, they're down 5 at half still. They're still in it, though.
Oh, it's easily. I feel like, Howard's going to coach them up for the second half. His players are, I feel like his players are more experienced with the Big Ten and had, their the conference was just way stronger than everyone else.
That's the only reason they got in is because of their conference. That's what I believe.
Exactly.
But that Miami USC game last night was crazy too.
Again, ACC showing out, getting the win.
I mean, they almost blew it, but they held on with that late foul call. Notre Dame, they played great too last night.
Right.
And the best game last night, I think, was Michigan State and Davidson. That was such a back and forth game.
That was an insane game. That was beautiful to watch. Davidson almost came back. They were down by 9 with, I believe, 35 seconds left or something like that.
Yeah.
And came back to within 1 or 2.
And that was going to be Michigan State and Duke. That's going to be a great one.
Another A-10 team showing out.
Michigan State and Duke. I mean, Michigan State could pull off that upset.
Yeah,
they can.
Good. Sorry, Duke, go ahead.
I want to say they can, but personally, although I personally do not like Duke because of Syracuse, but I respect Coach K, and I hope he wins his last year.
I mean, I just hate Duke, so I don't even want them to win. I don't care.
I think
go ahead.
Duke does not have what it takes to go far in the tournament, though. They've had too many bad losses where they just don't seem dominant. One of my roommates is a Duke fan, so we argue about this all the time. They're not good enough, I think, to make a deep run.
I 100% agree. I agree. I mean, they're always too young. The age is always the issue with them, in my opinion. And I see them going to the Elite Eight, but I don't see them beating an experienced Gonzaga team in the Elite Eight.
And here's where I, go against you guys and combat you guys is just like Nick said, they had these awful losses in the season, and it's better to get those losses out of the way because unlike the Cam Reddish and Zion Williamson and RJ Barrett, they were just winning. They barely lost. So when they did go to the tournament, they didn't have these awful losses like this team did, where they're now experienced. They understand how to handle these certain scenarios, and I feel like they can, get the win under their belt.
I mean, maybe, but I feel the farthest they can go is the Final Four, but I don't see that happening personally.
I also believe you're sleeping on Memphis and Penny
Memphis,
Hardaway and the coaching staff there.
they'll give Gonzaga a fight, but I don't think they're going to beat Gonzaga. Like Creighton gave Kansas a fight, they're going to do that to Gonzaga, but they're not going to beat them.
Hey, Georgia State gave them a fight in the first half, so.
Yeah, but if you look at all the 16 seeds, all of them got scared in the first round.
They didn't have the personnel to play Gonzaga the way Gonzaga is so experienced, and so their depth is insane. Memphis has the firepower, I feel like, to go against Gonzaga. They have the coaching, and they're in an all right conference. So,
but the issue with them is their age. Again, just like Duke, the age. I think the Gonzaga is way too experienced to let them beat them.
Anything can happen.
That's true.
Like I said, Georgia State gave them a great fight in the first half.
I know.
I feel like if Memphis can do that in the first half, they're able to keep, stay on their tail within the second half, within a couple possessions. So,
but it's also just like you've seen Memphis play great and you've seen them play awful. It just depends on what team shows up.
Right, and they've been playing great, later on in the season. So
yeah, so I think they give them a fight. I just don't think they'll beat them.
Right.
You guys want to move to the NFL?
Yep. In other news, NFL free agency is going down. Jake's Cowboys have been very active in terms of switching up their team. I would like to hear your thoughts, sir.
Well, I'm happy that we signed a receiver, given that we let Amari Cooper go. Got James Washington from Geo Steelers. I like that move. He's fast. He's tall. He's built like Michael Gallup. So Dak likes targets like that. You can throw it deep, get it down the field. And then to replace Gregory, we got Dante Fowler. I like that move as well. He can also rush the passer. It doesn't make Parsons rush the passer like every down. He can move to linebacker here and there like he was last season, be more versatile. So I like the past couple moves we were doing. And I would have loved us to be active earlier on, but I'm glad we're being active now. But what about you and your Dolphins? How you like their moves?
I think they've had a great free agency period so far. I really like the additions that they made, especially at the running back position.
Yeah, that's my question about the running backs. Like, why do you have so many?
It's a good question. We have like 4 or 5 running backs right now that I like, but that's also 4 or 5 running backs.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're all good, but like you can't use them all.
Yeah, hopefully Miami can open up that run game more this year too, because they've made some good signings. One from your Cowboys on the O-line. He's a young prospect. Does get flagged a lot, but
yeah, that's the thing. I was about to say, bro, don't get your hopes up with him. He was the reason we had the most penalties in the league.
But I'm excited for it. New head coach. I think Jalen Waddle is gonna become a breakout star this year, especially with the new coaching staff.
I also think Tua has more confidence given that there's no more trade rumors.
Facts. I'm happy they did not try to trade for Deshaun Watson too.
Yeah, about that. That was crazy. Last night that broke out. I was he said no Browns, and all of a sudden he's like, nah, Browns. And they only had to give up picks. That's it.
Do you know what picks they gave up though?
They gave up 3 first-round picks, a third rounder, and then a 5th rounder for like a 6th rounder.
Jeez.
Yeah. And now it's Deshaun and Amari Cooper on the outside. I mean, with Nick Chubb in the backfield, with Kareem Hunt as well, that's dangerous.
Could have had Jarvis too in that offense.
Yeah, and he's still a free agent.
I want him back in Miami so bad. So bad.
You guys could use receivers.
Yep. But
Gio,
Gio.
Yeah, you got thoughts, Gio?
Especially your Steelers.
So I have no expectations going into the season.
Now, not with Mitch Trubisky, you don't think he can be a great quarterback?
Like I said, I have no expectations. This man can either be great. I've seen his high points in the NFL when he's with Chicago.
Yeah.
I've also seen his low points, which are extremely low.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy we got rid of Juju. We don't need him. I liked him as a talent.
Personally, I feel like he's going to go off against the Chiefs every time he plays you. Every time he plays you guys, he's just going to go off.
How many receivers can he have, bro? How many?
Yeah, but that's Mahomes, bro. He throws to everybody. That's the thing. Like, the more weapons, the better for Mahomes.
So here's the thing for him. He is hot-headed. He thinks way too highly of himself, I believe. He thinks he's the number one option, and he's not that. He's going to want the targets like OBJ wanted the targets when he was in Cleveland.
Honestly,
and I don't think it's going to work out.
I think he's just went to the Chiefs for a ring. That's honestly what I think.
That the other option is he humbles himself, and like you said, he gets the ring. He's the third option, fourth option. Steelers, we still have Claypool, and we still have Johnson. Those are our two main guys, and those are possibly two of the top 10 guys in the league right now.
And you have Najee Harris too.
And exactly, we have not. I'm just saying receivers wise, but also he's a great
offensive player,
offensive player, rusher. He can catch the ball. He's got great hands.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. All we need to do is rebuild our offensive line. Our defense did get worse. We did just get rid of Hayden, so that's gonna be bad. But otherwise, like I said, no expectations. Just see how the season plays out. If we do good, it's fantastic. If we do bad, like I said, no expectations. So I kind of expect it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I was the Steelers, I'd probably draft the quarterback in the first round if one does fall.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want them draft that Pittsburgh quarterback if he's still there on the board?
Kenny Pickett?
Yeah.
So the size of his hands, right? Apparently he's got the smallest hands ever as a quarterback. To me, if he can sling that ball, go right ahead. But at the same time, why would we sign Mitch to a 3-year deal?
It was 2 years.
Want to go with him? I'm pretty sure it was 3.
It was 2. They gave him 2-year deal.
Are you sure? Because
I'm pretty sure. But back to the size of the hands, Russell Wilson had the smallest hands too. And look at this. Look at him. He's fine.
And that division's gonna be so good.
Yeah, bro. That division. Oh my God, that division's getting. Bro, the Chargers defense.
J.C. Jackson going there.
I mean, and Khalil Mack. Like the only reason they missed the playoffs was their defense. That's it. Now they could honestly be a real threat to the Chiefs.
Them in Buffalo. Buffalo even got better defensively.
Von Miller
makes me so angry.
They went to Von Miller, said, "I got my ring. Goodbye." Like, bro, that like they could honestly, the Chiefs could not make the second round at this rate.
Because I don't even think the Chiefs made moves defensively that I've liked so far.
The only move
I don't know all their moves.
I think the only move they made was Juju. That's the only one I remember.
Well, they lost Tyrann Mathieu.
Well, he's still a free agent. He could go back still.
Yeah, but they picked up that former Texans safety, I think, like Reed.
Oh, yeah, Justin Reed, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was a decent signing, but I don't think he is Tyrann Mathieu. So I think they got weaker defensively.
Yeah, and their defense is their issue.
Yeah, I don't know how good they're going to be next year or if they can even reach the Super Bowl. If not, the second round.
Well, I mean, and when you have Mahomes, you're always going to be good. But in the playoffs, that's when defense really needs to step up.
Yep.
So,
especially with other teams' defenses stepping up.
Exactly. And then Devontae Adams went to the Raiders too. Like the AFC is stacked.
That was so wild to hear.
I know.
Devontae Adams getting traded.
Well, he turned down more money from the Packers because he just wanted to play for the Raiders. Like
Aaron Rodgers is gonna be so angry.
No, apparently Rodgers knew when he was signing his contracts. He was like, okay, whatever.
Oh, okay, all right, that's good.
But like, there's no one who he can throw to now outside of Lazard and like Scantling. But those are like not number 1 or 2 options. They're like 2 and 3.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting for Green Bay next year.
Like they're gonna have to draft a receiver, and I mean, there's good receivers in this draft, like a lot of speedy ones. But like, still, he has no one.
It's going to be very scary.
Yeah. Gio, you got thoughts?
Yeah, so real quick before I get to that, you were correct. It was a 2-year, $12.75 million contract.
Mhm.
So to get that, cleared. So then for the AFC West, right?
Yeah.
That's the best conference in football.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. If we get so you guys say that you don't think that the Chiefs are going to win that conference possibly, right?
Well, I'm not saying they won't win it, but I'm saying they might not make it to the second round.
Well, here's the thing. The only thing that lost them that game last year, correct, was their offense. Their defense played outstanding. Adding Juju, like I said, he was a first option on a great team, on a good team, to become a third option, right? You got Tyreek, you got Juju, and then you also have forgetting his name, the tight end.
Kelsey.
Second best tight end.
Travis Kelsey.
Yeah, Travis Kelsey. There you go. So you got those 3 guys. And then that defense, you can have them play that defense they did in the playoffs. I think they're golden. They're going all the way. But here's the thing. You also got Denver now with Russ and Jerry Jeudy, which I personally believe he's going to have the exact same numbers or better numbers than
last season.
Jalen Waddle. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Nick, but I really believe Jerry Jeudy is that caliber. They're pretty much even. So with him having a great quarterback and an elite quarterback like Wilson, it's going to be great for him. The Raiders, they had that whole debacle in the beginning of the first half of the season. So with all that cleared up, hopefully Carr can come back, healthy, ready to play. Having Devonta Adams, personally, to me, the best wide receiver in sports. And then you got, that defense. It's going to be a solid year. And then you also got the Chargers with Khalil Mack and Justin Herbert.
Well, here's the thing. I think the only reason that Jalen Waddle had more yards than Jeudy last season was Jeudy got hurt for like 6 to 8 weeks. And I mean,
Right.
The quarterback play, obviously.
Yeah. Exactly.
And now back to the Chiefs. I mean, their defense played great that playoff game, but that was like their one game that they played great. Can they do it consistently is the question.
They played 2 great games. That entire playoff run, I believe they played way better, substantially better than they did in the regular season.
Well, if you could, they didn't play great against the Bills, but like that's because it's the Bills, but still.
No.
Exactly.
Don't hype the Bills up like that. Those fans are already too hyped.
So in my opinion,
go ahead.
So in my opinion, I'm just saying, you play that defense because it's all hard. It's all effort, mostly on defense and understanding your role. So if they're able to understand that and play like a team defense like they did, you can't stop that team, to be honest.
But like Nick and I were saying, they lost talent defensively. They didn't gain any talent.
But at the same time, like, they just need to keep that core group together for the most part.
Yeah, I guess, but
and they gained firepower on offense.
With the offenses in the AFC West, I think they need to get more talent on defense, in my opinion.
Hey, man, if you can put up points back to back to back to back, right? That's all you need. You need points. Obviously you need stops, but if you can hold your own and go back and forth and then have last possession, get points, that's all you need.
Yeah, but if you look at the defensive in the AFC West, the Chiefs' defense by far is the worst in that division.
And when you say as long as you get points and points and points and points, you're right. That offense is phenomenal. They'll score a ton. But then they'll go back on defense, and the defense will give up points on points on points, I see.
That's what I see, too.
It's going to be difficult for them to win because the offense is not going to score every time. And their defense is rarely going to get stops as well.
And why do you think the defenses in the AFC West got better? To stop the Chiefs.
Yep.
And all they need is one stop with that defense. And because the Chiefs defense barely gets stops.
Yep.
And that showed last season. That's why they started out slow.
And another thing about, sorry, Jeff, but not to like pile it on. The
No, go
reason
ahead.
they lost against the Bengals is because the offense was so lackluster.
Right.
So you can't really rely on their offense this upcoming season when Mahomes is going to have second halves like that. Then the defense is just going to let them score even more. It's just it could be bad.
Like you
But
never
here's the
know
thing.
you never know what to expect from an offense. That's why you have to rely on your defense to get at least 5 to 6 stops a game.
You have 3 first options potentially as a receiving core. One of them is going to be open every time. And if you have an elite quarterback, right, obviously that offensive line needs to play better. But they did have some injuries within that offensive line. So I think with a healthy offensive line, Patrick can do all he wants. He literally has 0 limitations because he's going to literally have one person open every time. You can't double Juju and you can't double Travis and you can't double Tyreek at the same time. So
That's true. You got to pick one.
exactly. And then let someone else open, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be scary in the AFC West for real.
The only thing I would say that is bad with him, like you said, defense, right? That running game. Running game is atrocious, I feel like.
I wouldn't say it's atrocious. I think that last year it was only bad because Clyde Edwards-Helaire could not stay healthy. When he's healthy, it's decent.
Well, it's compared to previous seasons whether Patrick has a good to great running game.
But I mean, you could also attribute that to the O-line as well.
Being held, exactly. So you never know.
But also sticking to the NFL, obviously Tom Brady, the biggest news. He said, "Oh no, I'm not retiring, guys." Pulled the biggest psych again. What do you guys have to say about that?
Gio, I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
Okay. So now I don't want to say this, but it seems like he wanted attention. Like you didn't have to retire for 2 months. It's like LeBron James saying, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to retire. I don't know if I'm going to leave the Lakers." He goes ahead, he talks to his people, he talks to his family, and then he makes the decision. Tom Brady made the decision, then talked to his family, then made another decision.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it played out poorly, and I don't really think he was going to retire, especially after the way he ended his season last year.
Yeah, I agree. I
Just
think the only
didn't sit
reason
well.
he came back is because he does not want to end on a playoff loss. He wants to end on a ring, and that's showing with the Bucks reloading literally everything.
Right. So, it's great to see, especially like if you want to see great football, to see him play one more year at least, it's just great to see him back because you did have great young quarterbacks, but at the same time, the NFC was not going to be the NFC, especially with all these guys moving, right? So,
I mean, personally, I would have loved for him to stay retired. I think he's played enough, got enough rings, but I mean, that's just me.
I agree. I think he should have stayed retired. As a Dolphins fan, I'm the biggest Tom Brady hater in this group call at least. So him retiring, I remember being so hyped about it for like 5-6 days. I was like all I was talking about. And now that he's unretired, all I can do is just be mad. I'm so angry. Because for years he would just tear up Miami. And now he retired. I'm like, all right, cool. I don't have to worry about Brady no more. Like, I don't have to actively cheer against him every season. This year, I'm scared for the Bucks to be really good. Gronk hasn't resigned yet, though, right?
No, but he's going to.
He's going to, yeah, but that, like, I just, anything but him winning on the ring would be phenomenal to me.
I agree. I mean, the only threat to him in the NFC, though, if we're being honest, I think is the Rams.
And even then, they got weaker.
Yeah, exactly. And the Bucks got stronger. He got him another weapon, Russell Gage, and then Logan Ryan went there. Like, it's obvious they're going for a ring to send him out the right way.
It's very frustrating.
So here's the thing for me, right? As a sports fan, I have changed my ways. I used to be like you guys and just hate. I used to not like LeBron James at times. I used to not like Tom Brady, but at the same time, I want to, and Steph Curry and all these guys, right? But I do want to see great football. I want to see great basketball. And in the playoffs, if we can have close games, mano a mano, like Patrick Mahomes, and just like with Josh Allen, unfortunately, sorry to hype them up, but seriously, that was one of the greatest playoff games we've ever seen. So if we can have games like that with Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford, right, it's going to be great to see. So
I appreciate the football that gets played, but Tom Brady has been doing it for so long that when he's still playing, I'm going to hate, but appreciate at the same time. If that makes sense.
That's all you got.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah. But the future of the NFL is still in such good hands with all these young quarterbacks that are looking like future studs.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and now it's looking like Matt Stafford's going to end his career in LA as he got an extension today. So
yeah, it's huge. What was it, $120 million?
It's like 160, something like that. Yeah.
Real quick, did Garoppolo get traded yet?
No, he isn't. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, now, did the Browns trade? Man, why am I forgetting names today? Who?
Baker?
Quarterback? Huh? Baker Mayfield, right?
They didn't trade him yet. No.
Okay. I would love to see that happen.
What, Baker for Jimmy?
I would love to see that happen.
Jimmy wouldn't do that though. Jimmy wants to start.
He wants to start, right? How many? Can he get bought out?
He could get bought out. Yeah.
So if the Browns can trade two things, Baker and something else for Jimmy, I would love to see Baker play for the 49ers and Shanahan, just because I feel like that offense would work, well in his favor, and that defense is, phenomenal as well.
But I don't think that's going to happen because the Browns already signed Jacoby Brissett to be Deshaun's backup.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying he needs to get bought out. That's what I want to happen. I feel like if you can give him another piece, then Jimmy can go wherever he wants.
But I mean, I feel like if the 49ers are going to trade Jimmy, they're going to trade him for better value than Baker, in my opinion.
I just want to see that happen. Obviously, I've heard what they've wanted for Jimmy, but if Baker could play for the 49ers, that would be great that would be a great fit for him.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel bad for Baker Mayfield. Like, the hate he gets is unwarranted. It's kind of like Russell Westbrook, to be honest. He's not as bad as people say, in my opinion. So, I mean, I feel like when he does get traded, I think he's going to prove people wrong no matter where he goes.
So I have two things. I don't see Jimmy G getting traded this offseason because of how far they went in the playoffs last year. I think they're going to run it back one more year, let Trey Lance take another learning year. And then I think if they don't win the Super Bowl next year, then they're going to turn the page for Trey Lance. But also, as a Steelers fan, Gio, would you like to see Baker would you like to see Baker in Pittsburgh since they don't really have an answer for quarterback right now?
I was thinking about that, and I would love Baker, to be honest. I feel like Tomlin could rein him in. He can change his mindset. He can do the things that benefit the team. He can throw the ball, he's mobile. It would be great to see with that, offensive core of Claypool, Johnson, and Najee Harris. So it would be fun to watch, but I don't think we're going to do that, like I said, unless they're going to try to trade something else for him because we just signed Mitch. So
yeah, but I don't see you guys saying Mitch is the answer. I just think that was just just to put him in there for now. But I still think they're shopping for quarterbacks.
Here's the thing.
It might be. Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
I wanted to franchise Juju and trade him for Watson. That would have been the perfect trade. Trade him and something else for Watson.
But I don't think you guys had the value enough picks I don't think you guys had enough picks for the Texans to want to trade
We didn't have
Watson
enough
there.
picks.
Yeah. Like they wanted 3 first-round picks and then
Right.
like 2 other players.
Mhm.
You would have had to give up like Juju, Najee Harris, something like that.
Yeah, I would have loved to see him play there, but
And I don't know. I think Jimmy G will get traded, and I see him going to the Colts because they don't have a answer at quarterback right now after letting Carson go.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
don't forget
That's
about New
my
York
opinion.
either.
Did they
Yeah.
bring in anyone in free agency, like temporarily yet, or not?
No. So I think they're making a run at Jimmy G.
They
I
got
would
laid
love to
off.
see him. I would love to see Baker there too.
And going to New York, I could see Baker going there, honestly. I was talking to Griffin, and he doesn't like that, but I could see it happening.
So you want the Giants to give up on Danny Jones already?
No, I don't think they'll give up on Danny Jones, but I think that it will be beneficial to him to take a back seat and like learn from a quarterback like Baker.
A little mentorship type thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, didn't he have Eli for a year or two?
Yeah, but I mean that was Eli's like downfall of his career.
I would rather have Eli Manning as my mentor rather than Baker Mayfield. That's just me though.
But I mean, I feel like Danny Dimes' game is more like Baker's than it was Eli's.
Yeah.
That's just me.
So what were you gonna say about that topic, Nick? Sorry, we both, interrupted you.
What topic?
The topic of Baker Mayfield or Jimmy G going to the Colts. Share some wisdom.
I think it would be cool if one of them went there. The QB market's kind of big right now, and I don't see this draft class as really good quarterbacks. Like there could be some people that turn into stars, but them coming into the NFL, I feel like it's a very lackluster quarterback draft class compared to like previous years. So I think right now you just trade for someone like Baker.
Yeah, the only elite quarterback I see in this draft class is Malik Willis. That's it. I mean, Kenny Pickett could be good, but not like a starting caliber. I see him being more of his backup.
Mm.
But, Gio, you got anything?
Yeah, you want to go to the NBA real quick since you were talking about Russ?
Sure, why not? What do you got to say?
Let's talk about something real quick with the Lakers, just because if we're able to, predict the future like we sometimes do,
Yeah.
the way they played last night, the way Russ played last night, I know you say he's not consistent. Man, that was something else. I just haven't seen that from him, like mentally.
Yeah, that was good to see. Good to see his confidence back. Hopefully it can maintain. I mean, obviously the Lakers haven't been consistent all
Just admit.
As I was saying, the Lakers haven't been able to play consistently this season, and neither has Russell Westbrook. But if he can continue to play like he did last night, and if the Lakers team can continue to play like they did last night, like there was a lot of good players last night who played good. So we'll see if they can keep that up. Starting tonight against the Wizards, we'll see if they can continue to do it consistently in these last 13 or so games, and heading into the playoffs, see if they can carry in some momentum. And Nick got to rep the Heat.
Number one seed in that Eastern Conference.
And they clinched the playoff berth, so.
Exactly. I'm just waiting for them to clinch that 1 seed.
But Gio, you got thoughts on the Lakers? Because I know you watch them a lot.
I personally feel like everyone else is saying, LeBron's load is insane right now. I just hope he can continue this. It's more likely that he doesn't continue this into the playoffs, but you never know. It's the greatest player in the NBA right now. I personally feel like when healthy.
Well, I was just gonna say, but here's the thing: if Anthony Davis comes back healthy, LeBron won't have to do as much.
Exactly, but at the same time, he really doesn't seem like he wanted to play. Anthony Davis, like I know he's got injuries and stuff, but it seemed like I might come back this season or I might not.
I think he wants to play. I just think that given his injury history, it might be best for him to sit it down for the year.
It might be best, but at the same time, it's LeBron James. You got to win right now. He's not getting any younger. You're still, 28 years old?
But say we don't win this year, we trade Russ in the offseason, we fire Vogel, get a new coach, and then rebuild the team, and then next year is a new season with LeBron and AD.
I feel like if you guys go deep in the playoffs, you don't trade Russ.
Yeah, but the odds of that happening for me personally are very low.
Hey, you never know if Russ and LeBron can be the new duo of the Lakers franchise without Anthony Davis and play like they did last night. You never know what can happen.
And even if we go far, I think Russ will still want a new home. He wants the ball in his hands more. That's my opinion. And that relationship with the front office and the coach is way too hard to mend, in my opinion.
But if here's the thing, if you can say, we're getting a new coach, we're getting a new front office, Genie says, this is what's going to happen. Everyone's leaving. The players stay. The players are in control. And then we got new coach, a new general manager. Anything can happen at that point. Then he's like reconsidering. He's like, okay, if we can find people that I can work with, then I'll stay.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, you never know. Like you said, it is the playoffs. Anything is possible.
For sure.
But in order to make the playoffs, like I said, we need to continue to play consistently.
Right. And do you think you can get to that 8 seed by the end of the season?
I think the 9 seed is our best position because the 8 seed we're 6 games away from it, and there's like 13 games left. And
right.
the Clippers are playing very well right now, and I don't see them slowing down enough for us to sneak into the 8 seed.
I'm not too sure about that. I personally, didn't they just lose a game?
They did, but it was to a good team.
It was to a good team, right? So I feel like you never know. They could lose here and there. 6 games. Lakers keep winning, right? And they get to the 8th seed. I feel like that's your best chance of going deep into the playoffs because you can lose that first game and win the second game and be the 8th seed.
But the schedule differential is very hard for us too. We have the hardest schedule in the remaining in the NBA, and then the Clippers have a fairly easy schedule.
Yeah, they do have a fairly easy schedule, but you never know. So
yeah, that's true. You never know. But say you got thoughts on the Lakers or the NBA in general.
I'm gonna save my Heat talk because I can go on and on. So the Lakers, I think, like you were saying, Russ is overhated, I would say. Like, he's never been a jump shooter like that. Although he used to be better. It's just everyone hating on him so much. It's not in his head. If there was more, and when Russ is hitting the side of the backboard or airballing, like against the Timberwolves, and then Cat and Pat Bev are doing all that, it's bad on the Lakers' part for no one walking up to Russ and trying to keep his head up. Instead, they just kind of let him just walk back and do his thing. Someone's got to walk over and motivate him, keep his confidence up where he can be Russell Westbrook, who drives to the rim, makes an electrifying dunk or a great lay, and start cradling that baby again. Because that's the Westbrook I need.
I mean, that's what I've been saying too. The chemistry it's kind of obvious that it's diminished at this point because even if it's not Russ who's missing a game winner, say Carmelo Anthony missed a game winner against the Rockets, you can tell the team gets mad at them instead of trying to lift them up.
Yeah. If they just and that's big on LeBron's part. I don't understand LeBron not trying to better up, hype up his teammates. LeBron really is just where I see the frustration for LeBron having the team be so bad right now, especially with his age. But at the same time, he's debatably the greatest player of all time. He's got to have that awareness to continue to uplift his teammates, get their morale up, so then they can potentially make a run in the playoffs.
Honestly, I would have loved to see more frustration from LeBron this season. I feel like he's been holding back too much because if he ripped on his teammates, not on national television, but in the locker room and stuff, which you can't see, but it doesn't look like he is, But like if he did, I feel like that would provide a spark for this Lakers team because like they're like okay, LeBron's like turning it up. That means we need to turn up.
But here's the thing, right? This is why personally LeBron will never be Jordan, because the frustration and the anger is two different ways. Jordan would hype up his guys by, putting them down, saying, "Oh, you're really gonna let someone out rebound you, outshoot you, do all these things, right? In practice and all that, try to make them better." He always wanted the best for his players. LeBron's anger, it results in quitting, sitting on the end of the bench, not talking to your players, not helping them up. It's Jordan would never do that. He would always help them up. He would always be for his teammates. LeBron just quits on his teammates. He never really hypes them up or puts them down in the sense that Jordan did.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like say last season against the Suns when we were getting blown out by 30 game after game, you could see the frustration on his face, and then he'd walk out with like 5 minutes to go in the game.
Right. Where Jordan would be screaming at his teammates to play better. LeBron's quiet and he just quits. Doesn't try to say anything to his teammates. That he believes that they're just worse than him, and that's all there is to it. Like, what else can he do except for just quit? So,
yeah, I mean,
I believe that's his mentality.
I agree. As a Lakers fan, I was also happy to see that we actually played Wenyen Gabriel last night, and he rewarded us. He played very well. But I think we need to play him more. Personally, I think this was one of our best starting lineups of the season.
So with the standings right now, who do you guys, because we do this, not quite often, but we do this once in a while. Did anything change for you guys, and who do you believe is going to be in the finals?
Nick, you got any opinion on that?
This is my finals prediction, right?
Yeah, we're going to do another one later on, but for right now, who do you think is going to go into the finals?
Well, you want bias or unbiased, or both?
I want Nick Ncaa's true answer.
All right. So, I have the number one team in the Eastern Conference getting to the finals, winning the finals, and I have them beating. I don't think the Suns are going to go back as good as they are. There was a lot of luck for them, which isn't necessary for every championship team. But personally, I think this year is going to be Utah's year to make the finals, but they will lose to Miami. But that can only happen if it's still Coach Snyder in Utah, right?
Right.
Yeah.
If he can actually sit Gobert to make a playoff run, then they can make the finals, I believe. If they try to keep Gobert in, then it's not going to be Utah. And I see probably Actually, it might be Golden State.
That's my prediction. I got Golden State out of the West, and I have them playing one of the top three in the East. The East is like so competitive that either Miami, Philly, or Milwaukee, one of those three, in my opinion, will be in the finals. And obviously, you can't sleep on the Nets because it's the Nets.
Very true. Especially if Ben Simmons can come back and play for the playoffs. But yeah. I heard reports that he might not be able to, like a back problem.
Yeah, they said that they're hoping he'll be back before the playoffs, but if he's not back before the playoffs, they expect him for the playoffs.
Okay.
But yes, that's the thing. He hasn't played in like a year, and now he's going to play for the first time in the playoffs. That's kind of rough. So that's kind of risky, in my opinion. That's why they want him to get at least like 3 or 4 games under his belt before the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Just to like knock off some rust, get back into like NBA game shape.
Yeah. But Gio, anything changed for you?
Nick might like this, but my confidence in the Heat went up tremendously since the last time we talked about them.
I agree. It has for me too.
The depth of that team is insane.
100%. And Victor Oladipo coming back just helps them even more.
If Jimmy Butler can stay healthy, he can rest, right? Because they already clinched. But
Yeah,
they
he can
can,
rest.
if he can stay healthy in the playoffs, make a run. Tyler Hero can shoot if Duncan Robinson can shoot, because we know what Ty's been doing. He's averaging 21 points a game this season, arguably, sixth man of the year. That's right. And then you have Victor Oladipo, who is for me, it's either Ben Simmons or Victor Oladipo, who's the best question mark. That's right, Black Panther. And if Victor Oladipo can come back and stay healthy and just be a great contributor to that team, I personally don't think anyone can stop them, because I personally feel like James Harden and Embiid, they choke in the playoffs for the most part, right? Then you've got the Nets, where Kyrie, it looks like he's not coming back for half the games, and they don't have home court advantage. So if they don't have home court advantage, they're already down 3-4 in the game scenario. So if they win all their home games, they're not going to win, one or two away games, right? So I personally don't think that's going to happen. So I have the Heat, being at the one spot just because of the depth, and I don't think Milwaukee's got the depth that the Heat do. So there it is for the East, but for the West, I like the Suns' chances if CP3 can get healthy. If Draymond can play well and Steph gets back healthy, unfortunately he got hurt the other night.
Right.
If he can get back healthy in the playoffs and Clay can do his thing, start heating up, you never know. But I think it's Donovan Mitchell's year to go to the finals. It's either him or Ja Morant, because I really believe those two guys can lead a team to the finals.
I just don't believe in the Jazz personally. The Jazz always choke, and that's just their reputation, in my opinion. And I think the Grizzlies are one piece away, and they're too young to make the finals yet.
But they're not scared. That's why. Like, they are not scared of anybody. That Memphis team, like, Steven Adams is the oldest player on that team, I believe, right? And he's not scared of anyone. He's the strongest player in the NBA. So with that team, Ja Morant staying healthy and Brooks and all those kids over there, I think they can, stir it up a little bit in the West.
They could. I do have a question for Nick. If the Nets lose to the Raptors and they end up being the 8th seed, would you be scared?
Sorry. Yeah, entirely. That first round, Brooklyn's the only team I don't want to go up against, because although Kyrie's not going to play every game of the series, every game that Kyrie can play is in Miami, and Miami has home court advantage. So he's playing more than he won't be playing. And that's not looking good for Miami, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. I wouldn't want to play the Nets. That's the only team that I can see would ruin the Heat's playoff chances.
Yep.
I personally,
I mean, they got swept by them last year, but this year they're different.
I think the defensive-minded that Spo is, he's going to be able to adjust and stop one of those two players, or slow them down at least. They're both not going to go for 50 like they have been, or 60, and shoot at like a 75% clip. I feel like Spo's going to slow them down. If PJ Tucker, because PJ Tucker defended Durant when he was in Milwaukee in the playoffs, and he was able to slow him down just enough where Milwaukee was able to win. So
that didn't slow him down. What slowed him down was his shoe size.
That's debatable, but at the same time, PJ Tucker did play, and I personally feel like the best defense anyone can against Kevin Durant. So
yeah, I mean, there's 3 weapons on that Nets team, so all you got to do is take at least 2 out, and you have a good chance.
Who's the third option?
If Ben Simmons is healthy and playing, he is.
Nah, he's nothing. He's nothing.
He's a phenomenal defensive piece to that team, though. That's another thing that worries me.
Great defense, but at the same time, your guys' depth. You guys have 5 options. You can go to Ty Hero, who's great on the ball and off ball. You got Duncan Robinson, who's great off the ball, and you got Bam inside, and you got Jimmy Buckets. That's a tough team to beat.
It's gonna be scary. I mean, I honestly don't think that the Raptors beat the Nets. So I think you'll end up playing the Raptors, which would be an easy series, I feel like, for the Heat. But outside of that, if they do end up playing the Nets, that'd be a great series to watch.
It would be very entertaining. That would be the best first round matchup. But I'd be very scared as a Heat fan.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But Gio, you got any segments you got to do?
Sure. So we got the Jordan 13s that came out today, which was the Del Sols, which was pretty cool. You know, I believe Kobe wore them in a couple of his games, and it's, you know, great colorway to have. But we also got some great news. We got the Navy 85 ones coming out soon, you know, just dropped on sneakers. So hopefully, you know, they come out soon. It's a great sneaker to have. And that's pretty much it for the sneaker world.
I mean, there hasn't been many video game drops, honestly. They've been a little slacking a little bit, but we'll see. In a couple of years or next year, college football will be back. That'll be a great game to get. I'm very excited that game is back. That was my favorite game growing up as a kid. So I'm going to be playing that pretty much every day once it comes out. And that's about it in the video game world.
For music, my boy Juice WRLD dropped another song. I'm waiting. I think he's supposed to drop a deluxe album for his Fighting Demons, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So they're slowly releasing songs for the next album drop. Also, Lil Durk, I want to throw him some love. He dropped a new song to his album. Both of them are really good, I would say. Lil Mosey, but.
All right, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching, and see y'all Thursday.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks everyone for watching. Please, if you guys like the video, go down and subscribe, and you know all the rest. All right, thanks guys.
Peace.